Hello. So today we're talking about how to have a healthy autoimmune lifestyle and what that will do for you long term. When we often are in an autoimmune flare, it feels like nothing works and we're just plain miserable and we're on medication and just waiting for relief. But there's so much in your control that can help reduce the length of that flare and then reduce the severity and length of future flares. They will happen from time to time. Sometimes things are out of our control. We get a virus, we get sick, we have to move, there's a death in the family, there's stress, there's something going on, and we go into a flare. But what we do day in and day out consistently can help reduce the severity and the length and then the frequency of flares. And also, if you do have to take medication, it helps the medication work better and faster at a lower dose. All of that is really good news because at the end of the day, we don't want to depend on medication to be healthy. Sometimes we have to, but we don't want to be on a lot of them. It's expensive and there's a lot of side effects. They deplete a lot of nutrients. It's a lot of work. So I have 5 pillars of an autoimmune lifestyle. And if you consistently practice these 5 pillars, you will have a healthy autoimmune lifestyle that is mostly symptom-free and mostly flare-free, which is the goal. So the first one, of course, is food. Food is the foundation of the pyramid. If you think about a pyramid, it's the foundation. It makes everything else work better. So there are a lot of different autoimmune diets out there, a lot of them. And at the end of the day, the best one, and the one that almost all of the autoimmune variations are based off of, is a paleo lifestyle. And then from there, they just kind of tweak it. And, a lot of them do work. Like for the Walls protocol, works. But this foundation is a paleo one, and then it makes tweaks from there, and it is extremely well researched. But it can be difficult to follow long term, but when you have something like MS and it works, it's a good one. But the foundation is this. And then from there, you can tweak it to make it work for your autoimmune disease or diseases, because we know normally it's more than one, okay? And why it works is that it eliminates the extremely inflammatory foods and focuses on nutrient-dense foods that give us a lot of the things that we need, including nutrients. It is not necessarily low carb. It is definitely not keto. But it does, if you follow the foundation of it, the primal paleo lifestyle, it is extremely anti-inflammatory and very rich in antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids and all these nutrients that we need for a healthy immune system and a healthy body. Number 2 is sleep. And I know when we're in a flare, sometimes we're sleeping 14, 16 hours per day, but when we're not in a flare, that's when it's really important that we go to bed and wake up around the same time every single day, even the weekends, and we're getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep consistently. I know that can be difficult when you have young kids, when you have pets, when you work a lot, when you are stretched thin. However, you cannot serve from an empty vessel, and sleep is incredibly essential for preventing a flare, because you're definitely not going to be able to do anything if you are bedridden, in pain, fatigued, there's so many different symptoms, but you're not going to be able to function if you're in a flare. So making sure that when you're not in a flare, that sleep is a priority, extremely important. Number 3, that you manage your stress well. Stress can most definitely set off a flare, and it can keep you in one unless you address it. It's been a doozy. We've been through a pandemic. We have lockdowns. There's political turmoil. It's crazy. We cannot control what happens around us, but we can control how we take care of ourselves. And so what does this look like? Because it's not just bubble baths and cucumbers on our eyes with masks and doing our nails. It's so much more foundational than that. There's things that a regular daily meditation practice, exercise, technology breaks, including from the television and the radio. Like commercials and political talk, things like that, right? Eating well, consistently, spending quality times with friends and loved ones, journaling, having creative outlets, making sure we schedule breathing room in our schedules, like in our daily activities, that we're not just running from place to place to place and constantly stressed out because we're going to be late or we have so much to do, but you build in breaks. And spending time outside in nature regularly. And if you have to pick one beyond eating well and sleeping, I would say meditation is one of the most effective ways to manage stress. Just 5 minutes a day not only help lower stress currently in your body, but it makes you react less intensely to future stress. Legit, like that's crazy. Just 5 minutes. And it doesn't mean you have to sit there and go and listen to calm music and things like that. Like, it's something as easy as taking a few minutes to do something like box breathe, where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and then repeat that 4 times. It can be, listening to like a meditation app where it kind of walks you through thoughts and helps you think about your breathing and connect to yourself. There's a lot of different ways. It can even be walking meditation. So look into different ways, find one, worth it, very effective. All right. And number 4 is daily movement. And when you're in a flare, this can be extremely difficult. I get it. You're like, Marian, like, I already know, stop preaching at me. But I'm talking like going for a walk, like even if it's just around the block or to the end of the street and back every day. I'm talking about stretched base yoga, not a flow, not a power, but one where you get in a stretch and you hold it and you breathe and you relax and you breathe and then you move to another one. I've taken these classes and totally took naps. So they are very relaxing and soothing, but I also feel very loosey-goosey after, which is important, especially when we're really, really tight and in a lot of pain. That can be very effective. Something like Tai Chi. And even gardening are all great options. And I know it's frustrating to go slow and like, you're like, I used to be able to do an hour or like a 10-mile bike ride, and now I can do 1 and then I'm taking a nap. I understand it's frustrating, but by not moving, you're doing way more damage than you are by doing it and being tired after. Eventually, you're going to get better and you'll be able to work up to more. But slow and steady wins the race. And then last but not least, of course, is healthy relationships. We need to be surrounded by people who make us feel full and not drained after we spend time with them. We're social beings. We need relationships that are mutual give and take, respectful. And then they make time to spend time with you. And they're people you can ask for help or step in and help when you don't ask, if you're too prideful, like I used to be. And you watch your health blossom. So these are the 5 pillars. Are there any of these that you feel that you could do better on, and do you need ideas? I would love to keep the conversation going. So leave a comment below or private message me. I would love to talk. Bye.